It's quite comical, actually, when you realize the difference between reality and what some people are talking on TV about.
You took the mark of the devil just so you can eat and breathe. Bows down at the feet and surrendered liberty. Tyranny and terror, corrupted dictators posing as your leaders while they poison every leader. Pumping fluoride in the water while they rape Iraqi daughters. Dumbing down the public, bashing magazines and fodder. Now they slaughter weaker nations. Faulty explanations, selling fear to the masses. Terror level elevations, revelations is unfolding right before your eyes. Wake up in a fever camp, drugged and hypnotized. Fourth Reich's taking over while you focus on your bling. But I'll bet by this point you haven't heard a damn thing. It's destruction by design, prophesizing every scripture. Take a big step back, see the whole picture. A distraction of the mind to keep you living in a bubble.
We're in a lot of trouble because less than 3% of you people read books.
What's up, YouTube? I want everyone to hear this and watch this video from this so-called pastor here in Detroit, Michigan. His name is Alexander D. Bullock, and he is the president of the chapter of the Rainbow Push Coalition here in Detroit, Michigan. And he's talking his anti-gun rhetoric about assault weapons and shit. I wish he'd do us all a favor and do me a favor and leave my home state. So check out this video and check out his stupid logic. He's a fucking idiot.
People moving on because of the color of the skin. Run, but you sure can't hide. Well, nobody's interested in learning but the teacher. Segregation, determination, demonstration, integration, aggregation, divinity, obligation to our nation.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Detroit Wants to Know. This week, we're coming to you from the historical Tabernacle Missionary Baptist Church on the old north end of Detroit. And we're going to get to why we're here a little bit later. But what I want to discuss with you first is in Colorado, at the screening of the new Batman movie, 12 people were killed and 50 people were wounded after a gunman opened fire and let off tear gas in the theater. I have Reverend Alexander Bullock with me. Reverend Bullock, Rainbow Push, because of this, now wants to ban assault weapons.
Not because of Colorado, Steve. In fact, on Father's Day, I was in front of Action Impact Gun Shop, joined by 15 pastors around the nation on Father's Day, calling for a revival of the ban on assault weapons, because there was something in my spirit and something in the atmosphere where I knew that access to these kinds of weapons needs to be restricted. Now Colorado happens, and we pray for those who are impacted by the tragedy. But now the nation is in lockstep with National Rainbow Push. Reverend Jesse Jackson, Reverend Bullock is in lockstep with what we're saying. And people are saying there needs to be a revival of the ban on assault weapons. I shouldn't be able to take my ID and go and get an AR-15. Shouldn't be able to buy clips and rounds, 100 rounds. This guy had 6,000 rounds purchased online legally. And so what do you need a gun like that for? You're not hunting with that gun. You're not protecting your home with that gun. What are you doing with that gun except killing human beings?
Hold on, Reverend. With all the people around here that are going to defy your ban, I'm saying we don't need a ban, because in order to protect my house, I want the same amount of weaponry as these thugs out here have. I want to be able to protect my house. I want to have enough firepower. I don't believe in carrying a gun out in the street. Don't believe in it. But if you come into my nation, which is my house, and you come in there unwanted, you're getting it. And if you come in blazing, I'm blazing right back.
What do we do about churches, Steve? What do we do about Tiger State, America?
I'm not saying they should be allowed to be carried in here. But I'm telling you, in your own home, you have the right to defend your home. And if these punks out in the street have this kind of firepower, you deserve to have the same amount of firepower to repel the invaders of your domicile.
But so you do agree that as it stands right now, there's too much access, there's not enough restrictions on that kind of weaponry. I mean, this guy, the Joker, showed up in the movie theater and it was no joke. The Dark Knight rose, it became a dark day for America. And now over 50 people injured, 12 people dead. We've got to look at gun policy in
But
this
look,
country.
look. As the icon of American thought, Ice Cube once said, guns don't kill people, people kill people. We have to modify the thought. We have to elevate our thought. And I know you're doing a good job towards that, but I'm not going to ban weapons and not be able to protect myself against what somebody might try and bring into my house.
Let me ask you a question. If people are addicted to crack cocaine, what do? We restrict their access to crack cocaine. If somebody has bad credit and wants to work in the financial industry, what do? We say no. We have to restrict your access to credit and money. If someone is a pedophile, what do? We say you can't work with children. We restrict their access to children. If Americans are addicted to violence, what do? We must restrict access to assault weapons.
You can try and restrict it, but you're not going to be able to restrict it. And people like me that want to defend their house need to have access to the weapons to repel the invaders. Now, I'm going to continue this conversation with you at a later date.
Yes.
All right?
Because we'll be out there fighting.
You got to give me, there's a side I'm fighting with you on. Tell me what's going on at the Supreme Court. You were there.
Yeah, we were there. Couldn't get in the building, Steve. 400 citizens from the state of Michigan, Benton Harbor, Grand Rapids, Muskegon Heights, Flint, Detroit, Ann Arbor, Pontiac, got on buses, came to the Michigan Supreme Court. They put an arbitrary cap on how many people they were going to let in.
Well, tell me, what's going on in this picture?
Right here, we're trying to get people in the building. There were seniors that had been standing for at least an hour, couldn't get in, needing to use the restroom, couldn't get in. This is a public building, taxpayer dollars, and the security guard, law enforcement, is telling us the entire building's full. I said, well, is there a conference room?
You know what?
All the conference rooms are full. And so we were trying simply to gain access to the building.
Well, look, the State Supreme Court, Bob Young, goes to my church. I'm going to tell him about that access. Real briefly, what was the outcome? Have they decided anything yet?
They haven't decided anything yet, but the outcome at least looks good at this point. Seems like the State Supreme Court is going to side with us. Looks like it's going to get on the ballot. But of course, we've got a time issue here. The shot clock's running. If we don't release the ball, then we won't get a chance to score points for democracy.
Okay. Reverend, sorry to disagree with you on an assault weapons ban. I hope you'll come back. We'll argue again.
Love to.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back with Ernest Johnson. He's going to tell us who the Community Coalition endorsed for the 14th Congressional District.
Well, there it is. Couple of things here. Did you hear his nonsense argument? What do we do if someone's a crackhead? What do we do if someone has bad credit? What do we do about this and that? One thing he's not talking about, and you notice how he never mentioned it, because he knows, is that none of those things are listed in the Constitution and Bill of Rights. We have a Second Amendment for a reason, asshole. And you notice how he mentioned more than once democracy, which is what all these people do on the Republican side and the Democratic side. These politicians, you never hear them talk about a republic. At least 95% of them anyway talk about democracy. Mob rule, majority rule. Fuck your majority rule. This guy is just a liberal, whatever. I hate to bash on a pastor, but I don't think he's a real pastor. Pushing all this liberal agendas, and he's part of the Rainbow Push Coalition. I mean, that pretty much says it all. Anybody who knows about politics like we do knows what that organization's about. And it certainly isn't about civil rights. It's about fascism and communism. I just had to put this out there because I can't stand this guy. Oh yeah, and the rally he's referring to at Action Impact, I have been by that gun range. I used to work right around the corner from that place. I've never been in there. But there is a video of that when he showed up with like 15 people, and there's people there that were protesting him. I might even do a video on that next. I actually met the guy who was there speaking to him, speaking to this reverend when this reverend had the blowhorn. So the guy was actually, it was kind of funny. He was telling him, I want to see Jesse Jackson. Where's Jesse Jackson? I might even do a video on that next. So, but check this one out. Rate, subscribe if you would like. This guy's a moron. That's all there is to it.